Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at a new keyboard from Tecware. So today we're going to take a look at the Spectre75 from Tecware, a company we know so well from their Phantom series. Let's see what they've brought to the table with their Spectre75. So in the box, we have a standard wire switch and keycap puller. We have a nicely braided USB-A to USB-C cable with a zip tie attachment. We have a card that looks like it goes over some of the functionality, pairing modes, the LCD, as well as the dual mode operation for the LCD or for volume. So you can either use it to scroll through the different menus on the LCD or press and hold and use it as volume. And we have an accessory bag. This is a padded spacebar dampener. If you add this to the spacebar, and like I said, it's double-sided, so you'd be able to peel off this back and stick it on there, you're going to probably silence your spacebar by at least a couple of decibels, if not more. We'll see how it sounds when we get there. And here's something that I can say I've honestly never seen in a keyboard with a screen on it, a screen protector. And here we are with the Tecware Spectre75, and thankfully they do include a dust cover that's actually shaped to the keyboard. Well, upon first impression, I gotta say, I think it's very classy. White on black, black on white has always been a classy look. Now let's see what we've got under the stabilizers here. Go ahead and pull off a long key. And we've got our switches, which I'm not sure if I even mentioned this, but there are 4 extra switches included in the pack, which is highly appreciated. We have a nice red linear switch. It comes in a milky, possibly a nylon housing. I'll have to look up the specs on that, but it is badged with Tecware. It is a wing latch style switch, and doesn't have any ping, so it's very likely lubricated or dry lubricated from the factory. We have the SMD window, and we have what feels like a normal red, like a 45 gram weight. Now for the plate mounted stabilizers, we do have the palm style, and these are the newer style with that pad right there in the middle. We have lubrication on the inside of the stem on the wire, as well as on the elbow on either side of the stem housing, which is the spots that are going to get the most friction. So that's where we like to see that. Looking down, it does look like we have a gasket mounted PC plate. On the PCB, we do not have a PET layer, but we have an IXPE layer, and it does not appear that we have support for screw-in stabilizers. Thankfully, these are actually quite well attached, and I don't think there'll be many that would complain about the performance of these. There is dampening between the plate and the PCB, but it's hard to tell what it is. Plate has a nice tolerance, and let's take a look at the keycaps. They are double shot. I do believe that they're PBT. Let's see what kind of measurements we get out of these. 1.5 millimeters, very decent. That's on the higher end, especially for stock keycaps. That switch, the plate, the combination of whatever is in there for dampening, the style of the keyboard. Oh, this case is actually quite interesting. It's while we have a wedge, we do have kind of like a recessed bottom, and it comes down. We do have the 2 fold out feet, and we have what feels like a magnet. Yeah, you can almost see it, because there's almost, seems like there's a translucency, but there's a magnet there to hold that in place, so it's not press fit. We have some very interesting corner feet. I haven't seen these. Let's hope that these are ones that won't come off easy. Now we do have a switch on the back right next to the USB-C connector. Right now it's set for wired. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what the lights on the screen look like. All right, so we have the Tecware logo, and the lights kind of go through their little thing. Let me see if it's okay. Right now it's in volume mode, so I guess we function press, or yep. We have a very nice keyboard from a company that honestly has been around for a while. We have, just notice, this is a textured aluminum knob. It has an inner collar, but it has a round knob potentiator meter. So you need to make sure that if you do want to get a different knob for this, that you're going to get one that's round, not a D knob, because the D knob's not going to fit. So at first I was like, wow, it's probably going to sound kind of deep, but then I did a little quick sound previewing. So far, we have a very solidly built keyboard with a nice design, a little bit of elements that are different from the other 75% keyboards. Feels substantial. It's not like an aluminum heavy, but it's close. It's one of the heavier. It's on the heavier side when it comes to plastic keyboards. So you can tell it's well dampened. Just the specs. Today we are taking a look at the Tecware Spectre75, a 3-mode, 75% mechanical keyboard with a customizable screen and a knob. The Spectre is also available in a 96% model. It has a gasket-mounted PC plate, 3 and 5 pin hot swap south-facing PCB with IXPE layer. It comes preloaded with candy red switches and double shot PBT cherry keycaps in the white on black colorway. It has a battery capacity of 4,000 milliamp hours and comes weighing in at 887 grams. The chin of this keyboard sits at 22.5 millimeters from the typing surface, while the back sits at 28.5 millimeters, providing for an angle of typing of 4 degrees. Flipping out the first set of included fold-out feet will take the back height to 36 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 7 degrees. Folding out the final set of feet will raise the back up to 43 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 11 degrees. The MSRP for this keyboard is $71.99. All right, so for the software, we go to tecware.co/software, and we see that, there appears to be a firmware update. So we go ahead and download the firmware update. We're going to go ahead and download the driver as well. All right, so first I'm going to apply the firmware. It's going to give me a Windows protected your PC, but I hit run anyway. It just basically means that they're not registered as a Windows publisher. The firmware was pretty quick. The keyboard flashed on and off. Once it was complete, it was back up, and I just closed out of here. So we're going to get the same pop-up about Windows, and we just go ahead and skip that. Select the folder, and it launches once it's complete. Once it's launched, we get to the main screen, and we see that we have our top layer, which is what we see above, our function layer, and we also have a toggle layer. So in effect, we have 3 layers: the normal top layer, the function layer, and toggle means if we hit a key really quickly, instead of pressing and holding it, it's going to do something else. Unfortunately, the knob does not appear to be programmable in this situation, but the function key appears as though it can be. So that is a nice little change from a lot of these closed-source software would not allow you to either remap function and or function in some keys. So, but do know that you could map your way out of being able to control the LEDs and everything unless you do a reset, which you can do through the software. Now we also come to the lighting section where we can select specific effects as well as their properties. And we have a very basic macro editor where we can create, add, edit, delete. It's not the most complex, but I think it'll get the job done in most situations. After that, we come to the screen section where we can sync our time with our Windows PC, and that will immediately sync the time on the keyboard. We can then select to save the original GIF in case you ever want to load up the original animation that came with it. I'm going to go ahead and load up another animation here. Let's do cloudy with a chance of meatballs. All right, so it looks like it's in the proper dimensions. We go ahead and after we do preview, we go back to edit and then we upload to keyboard. The percentage that's on the screen also shows on the screen on the keyboard. So we get to see it as it uploads in real time. It's nice that they match. And then the animation is on the screen. And then we have our per key RGB. And here is where we can set up our lights exactly like we want them to. And we can obviously save them into, we could save different combinations and setups of lights and then be able to come back into it. And last but not least, we have the settings section where we can see that we have the option to load the driver at startup. We have the option to disable Windows keys. We have the option to select the key response time. And if you're gaming, you can adjust that so that it'll work best for you. We can also adjust sleep as well as check for firmware updates or factory reset the keyboard. This keyboard really surprised me. Like I said, out of all the 75% that I have tested lately, plastic, this is one of the better ones, if not the best. Now, this is available in a black and white, and they also have it in a 96 key. And so it's like a 98% or 96 key, but it still has the screen and the knob, but it has the numpad and it, the compressed numpad. But I'm going to see if I can take a look at that one as well, maybe in the white. This one, like I said, it has earned a place in my heart. It is definitely in my regular rotation now. I've been using it for a while and I'm quite enjoying it. And I think that you'll enjoy the sound test. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's not like, whoa, it's the best sounding keyboard in the world, but it is pleasant. In my experience, or in my opinion, the sound that this keyboard makes is pleasant. And because we have the gasket mounting, we have a nice soft touch, but it's not super bouncy, but it's just enough. I do hope that I answered any question you guys might have had about this keyboard or introduced you to it if you hadn't seen it before. If you have any other questions or any suggestions when I do come back to this keyboard at some point in the future, please let me know down in the comment sections below. I do my best to answer each and every comment as quickly as possible. For now, I just want to wish everybody out there in YouTube land a wonderful rest of your day. And until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.